Pelicans stole a win on the road last night. Is the Big Three starting to figure things out? And the Pelicans Thunder ended with 2 crazy shots. So we'll also look back at some of the craziest game winners ever. Plus, how close is Klay Thompson to returning? We have the latest, so stick around because NBA Today starts right now. Welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews, joined in Los Angeles by NBA champ Kendrick Perkins, Miss Chiney Ogwumike, a former #1 pick, and our senior writer, Zach Lowe, host of the podcast, The Lowe Post. And reporters are going to be joining us as well throughout the show. But I think we have to start in Dallas, where the Lakers and the Mavs, they played an OT thriller last night. So LeBron James, the Lakers, Penguins jersey.
Snazzy.
Number 6. It's got to be custom, right?
Yes.
So remember, no Luka
like
Doncic for Dallas last night. So let's pick it up when things got spicy in the fourth quarter, Chiney.
Yeah, LeBron James trying to save the day right here. The shot does not go down. Look at the scramble. This is wild, but this is beautiful basketball. Wayne Ellington pump fake.
Well, plus
shot.
that was making up for an ugly air ball he had earlier. So that was an important
That always
shot.
helps.
We still have
Don't
just
do that to Wayne Ellington.
It was. I'm just stating a fact. It's not a judgment, Zach. But we're excited. LeBron James. Still a little bit of time left in regulation. 2 seconds. Gets a shot off.
Oh.
No good. So where are we headed?
OT, baby.
OT, baby. Let's do it. And let's go to the end of overtime because that's when things really got interesting.
Yeah, veteran players know that you have to start overtime with passion, and I think this one, you knew it was going to come down to the wire. That's why you see LeBron James dunking in transition, best basket you can get there. But then look at Tim Hardaway Jr. Deep answers. We're playing ping pong because on the other side, extra pass here, deep 3, Russell Westbrook. They needed that one.
Well, and that was his only made 3 of the game, Chiney. So back down on the other end.
And this is why, I love the Mavericks, their posts when they're healthy, because Max and Kleba, they have stretch posts, including, Porzingis. That was a big one right there.
So this is when I hit the group text, I think, saying how crazy this game was, and then it only got crazier.
Hey, what's the nickname we're going with, y'all?
What are we going with, Zach? That was
Reeves.
an insane Austin Reeves. He deserves a full
learn the name
firsty lasty. Learn it, remember it, because he hit that shot. It definitely should have been an and one. The entire team celebrating. LeBron James, bring him into his post-game interview after the game.
I think Russell's the guy that needs to be celebrated as much as Austin, because that's everything we talk about with our group. With the balancing our talent is going to be about trusting the next man. And the open man is more talented than any one individual. And for Russell to drive the paint in a moment like that, have the ability to finish, but trust a teammate with the extra pass and get rewarded for that extra pass is a big growth moment for our team.
So you heard Frank Vogel call it a growth moment, right, for the team because Westbrook assisted Reeves on that last play. But Chiney, take us through what you saw there.
Sure, let's do it. And it's really integral because he said trusting the next man, and I think that's exactly what makes LeBron James extremely clutch because it's not just the shooting, it's him being able to facilitate in moments. Now, it does open him to criticism, but I think this is a great case of him at his best. Right here, pick and roll, Wayne Ellington, draws 2, and this is what makes LeBron James great. It is a risky move, but, great players make great plays for other teammates. Extra pass, Russell Westbrook is not the best shooter in this instance. He's not even looking at the rim. Instead, he makes the smart move when the defense is late. Help defense now has to react. He drives, makes the smart play, is kicking it out. 2-1, Austin Reeves, who's wide open, and this is just reps. I mean, he played a career-high 32 minutes. He had a career-high 15 points, and that 3 was the most important of them all. So I know a lot of people say, LeBron James doesn't take the final shot. That's why he's not this or that. But he does create plays like this, and I think that's where his truest greatness truly lies.
So Perk, then we're talking about Austin Reeves, but it was parts of the Big Three, right, that were involved in different ways in that play. So stop me if you guys have heard this before. I think I've asked this 5 times throughout the season. Are the Lakers' Big Three finally starting to figure it out?
Malika, I thought I told you last week I wasn't going to talk about the Lakers until they were 5 games over 500 or either on a 5-game winning streak. But you know what? I got to talk about last night because I think people are taking last night for granted. That win that the Lakers had last night showed a lot, in my opinion, for us the Big Three. We look at the Dallas Maverick team and a lot of people out there say, they didn't have Luka. Well, this Dallas Maverick team has been playing well without Luka. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis a few nights ago and broke their winning streak. So when I look at how they did it down the stretch, it was a combination of all three of those guys, led by not LeBron James or Anthony Davis, but Russell Westbrook. We saw him late in the game get out in transition, hit LeBron for a dunk, knock down the corner three after he just airballed one on the other end, and then backdoor cut, and we saw Anthony Davis hit him for the reverse layup. So I think it was more to brag about for us what they Big Three did last night than overall, and give them a lot of credit.
Do you give him the same amount of credit that Perk does, Zach?
Perk just went on, man, after saying I'm not talking
I'm not
about
talking about the
him.
Lakers, but let me tell you 18 things about the Lakers.
Let me say this. There's a stat I check every few days to see how it's going, and it's the Lakers scoring margin with the big three on the floor and none of the centers, because that's AD at center, and as much shooting as you get around them, that's their path to maybe doing something serious. For the season, they have 184 minutes. They're plus 11 per 100 possessions. Frank Vogel is starting to figure out this rotation, how to stagger minutes, how to get his best groups on the floor. Perk talked about the pace that they're playing with. When Russ is on the floor, you got to run. He's starting to cut a little more. Like that number, just keep an eye on it. That's the number.
You know, I actually have more numbers, but, you know, I think we all expected the Lakers without Luka to win this game. Like, this is a must-win game if you're an athlete. And you also know that, all right, this Big Three, like, we expect them to perform every night. So, like, these are things that are not revelations. I do think, and Perk, you can relate to this, as an athlete, these types of wins are the ones that give you the momentum to figure out your chemistry and your identity. So while a lot of people are like, oh, they beat the Mavs, I'm like, the way that they sort of galvanized around Austin Reeves shows you the camaraderie you need to hold on to as you really hit these bumps in the road. And speaking of Austin Reeves, I got a number for you, Zach.
All right.
Plus 82 this season with him on the floor, which is the best over all the Lakers.
He can play.
And I remember early in the season, I was watching early, I was like, okay, Carmelo's on the floor, LeBron's on the floor, AD's on the floor, Russ is on the floor. I was like, who that? who's that with him?
Well.
And, you know, I was like, it's Austin Reeves, and I started to fall in love with how he plays the game, how intentional he is, and I'm glad he had his moment, his welcome to the NBA moment.
And you're not the only ones who said who dat. So let's get to know Austin Reeves just a little bit, who hit the game winner as we showed you. So he played at Wichita State, transferred to Oklahoma. He made all Big 12 first.
Oh, I can't with this.
He went undrafted in the past draft, but then the Lakers, they signed him to a two-way contract that they then converted it to a standard contract before the season. So, Zach, are you gaining confidence at all in the Lakers' depth now?
What a nickname.
I think I have a little more confidence in him. He can play. He can play. The rest of the guys, you know, we're going to have to see. They kind of are who we are. Wayne Ellington, we know he's a shooter. He's going to struggle on defense. Malik Monk didn't play last night, so we'll see. THT's had moments up and down. We'll see when they get Ariza back and Kendrick Nunn back. But they're about what I expected, except for Austin Reeves. No one expected this, and he belongs in the rotation.
Absolutely. Well, I thought that after I saw that this game winner, I was like, cool. All right, I can take a little break from games. I can go hop on my Peloton real quick. I can get my workout in.
Oh, no.
Excellent. No. Do you know how many game winners were going down last night? I needed to hop off my Peloton and get right back in front of my TV. So let's take a look at today's Crunch Time moment brought to you by Ruffles, because it's from the Pelicans and Thunder last night. It was nuts. So Devontae Graham.
3-point lead for New Orleans. Ball's inbounded to Shea.
What?
Did not foul. Shea on the step back, still buries the three. And it's tied at 110 with 1.4 seconds.
When he hit the shot, I'm just like, I'm going to try to get one up. And then I just let it fly.
Inbound at Devontae.
And I'm like, oh, man, I got a chance.
He baked it in! He baked it in! He baked it in! The Pelicans have won by the most improbable shot you can even think of.
Then when it went in, I just ran around like a crazy person.
In a matter of seconds, you go from happy to wow, you know what I mean? Just kind of lost for words, to be honest.
That's definitely my best game winner I've had. Got to be ranked number one. I've watched it like 4 times, but it's going to be another 400.
That's his best game winner. That's like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, what? Of course. Devontae Graham's 61-footer was, get this, the longest game-winning buzzer beater in the last 25 seasons. And Graham's shot only had a 3% chance of going in.
Like,
That's
it should've
according
been
to
zero.
second
I'm surprised it's that high.
It's like, that
if you-
seems
if you
really
had
high
a
for that.
Shea shot, you know?
And you guys, with the Pelicans announcing that Zion Williamson is out at least another 6 weeks, we'll get into that a little bit more later in the show. New Orleans, they're going to need all the magical moments and lucky shots that they can get.
Yes, they are.
But
Yes, indeed.
Big Perk, that did get our staff chattering in the newsroom. It was before you got here, rolling in a little late. We got our newsroom thinking about, it's fine, thinking about the craziest regular season game winner. So let's take a look, because this is 1984. Chene, were you born?
No, I was not born.
I was 1 year
Zach,
old
take it
right
away.
there, but I didn't see
I was
that.
negative
I'm
12.
I'm not just the old guy who gets to comment on old stuff.
But that is a heck of a shot. That is a heck of a shot. So
I
let's go more
remember
modern.
this.
2009,
Lost
Devin
the ball.
Harris.
Oh, swish.
Like,
Mike,
what?
When he
Yeah,
lost
I don't really
it, got it
understand that
back himself. Like,
And it
is
was
that
a flick of the wrist type of shot, too.
circus act?
Swish.
He's like, yeah,
Yes.
I did that. All right, 2010, Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek shot that on the way down, which
Wish.
was like, bam, beat up.
What was his name?
Wreaking havoc.
Wreaking havoc, that's what it was.
Nobody
Wreaking havoc.
said that. That wasn't a thing.
Oh,
No, I just-
well, this was a
Tyreek
thing.
and Havoc.
2 years ago, Jeremy Lamb.
Oh, that was.
This is a
Say
great
Lamb?
one.
Oh,
My youngin.
that was
Oh.
incredible.
Yeah, I
And in
thought about
Toronto, that's a